Alright, well, let's try this again. It is Wednesday, and I'm trying to do this Patreon review for you. The patch comes out tomorrow, and my video card is reset twice, so hopefully we get this in before the patch. Alright, so you're playing Xin. Now, while you're unloading, you should be looking at who you can, like what your lanes are, who has CC, what lanes are good to gank. Um, You're against a pretty immobile team, which is great as a jungler. It's kind of what you hope for. And you have quite a bit of CC on your team. Not a ton, but between you and Braum and the Silence of Garen, you have a decent amount. Probably your best lane to gank is actually going to be your bottom lane because Braum, his passive is just so strong. And Kate can do a decent amount of damage from a range. So that's great. In addition to the fact that Jinx is so immobile, and so is Lux, that as long as you don't get snared by Lux coming in or trapped by Jinx, you have really easy kills on bot. I would put wards either here or here, like ask your team to ward one and you ward the other, just in case Volley decided to like roam back down here or something. You never know. This is good, but I would have done it a little earlier just in case someone came to check on his red. Anytime that you invade an enemy jungler and you take one of their buffs, you should immediately go clear your same buff. Just because at higher levels, good junglers, after they see that you took their buff, they're actually going to go and take yours instead. So it's very possible that Volley just does something like goes and takes your red, like right now. He did, for some reason though, go gank top early, which worked in this case. Usually not optimal to gank that early, but it happens. So it looks like you saw that bot is low, so you're going to come back around for them. This is... I've seen this part, so I know you end up getting the kill. While it is does get you a kill, just keep in mind that in higher levels, they're going to go back. They're not going to sit under tower at that little health. So that could possibly be just a waste of your time. So when people start backing properly, you'll realize that things like that don't work quite as often. Which is fine. Take advantage of them while they do. As far as taking this tower, I would not take this tower so early. Between Kate and Braum, they have a lot of pressure over this lane, and they're doing very well in it. So you don't want to limit their potential. You want them to snowball as hard as possible, and that's easier when they're able to freeze the lane, and they're able to get some kills in lane without them retreating too far back. Because if Jinx and Lux freeze around here, it makes Kate very susceptible to ganks because she's not incredibly mobile either. Let's see how your other lanes are doing. While you back. Okay, so Garen and Riven are pretty set. Pretty even. This Zed is doing remarkably well against an Ori. He should not be able to farm against her really at all. Alright, see here you're going to do double golems. I would advise against that and use smite on them. There's two things wrong with this. One, you have red still up. It's kind of like leaving money on the table. So if I were to put $5 down on the table and tell you that once you pick it up, every 5 minutes I would put another one down, but the timer didn't start till you picked it up, you'd probably pick it up right away. That's kind of what your buffs are. They're like an infinite resource for you as long as you pick them up. If you don't pick them up, they don't do anything for you. As far as using a smite over here, it doesn't really benefit you. It benefits you your first run through, but now that you're a higher level and you can sustain a little bit better, it's better to use your smite on the raptors because then you get the added vision control. This was good. Your map awareness is really good. You saw that Volley was clearing your ward. And you came up here to assist them. I wouldn't have backed out here. You saw Garen coming in. Um, you guys definitely could have killed both of them if you stuck on them. Yeah, you only kill one here, so I would definitely have done both. Or stuck on them. I work a little bit on your mechanics. It looks like you kind of stop to ping, like to watch and ping them. I would definitely, you want to be able to do what you want to do and ping the minimap at the same time. I know that's really picky and it's only like 3 wasted seconds, but it's still 3 wasted seconds. Alright, it's great. You're focusing Scuttle for vision and you have a sweeper already. Both of those are great things. I would like to see you add to that your raptor camps, the smiting of them. That will help significantly with your vision control. I think Zed needed to be a little bit closer before you went in. There's a good chance that she wouldn't have responded so quickly. But that was great. You got a flash. Make sure you're typing in chat or a flash and then what time it's going to come back up. So if it went down at 7:30, it'd be back up at 12:30. Those are things that you should know. And if you don't know their exact timer or what runes are running, then you want to hit, you actually want to hit tab, and you'll be able to hover over their summoner and see if they're running any runes or masteries that lower it. Particularly on support is most likely when it's going to happen. Recognizing Volley's path of travel and that he was coming down here, this was a good decision, like a good place to be in terms of what's going on in the map, especially since then you can come back up here. Your blue's going to be coming up shortly, things like that. That's a great place to be. You know that his red is up because you took it originally, and see how much of a difference those buffs make. You're 5, he's 4. He has 2 buffs up that he hasn't taken yet. He didn't even realize that you took his red for quite a while. So that's why another reason you don't want to leave him on the table. But this should be coming up pretty soon. So this TP, it happens, unfortunately. I don't think that means that your decision making was necessarily in the wrong place. However, Braum was significantly low, Kate was very low. So coming down from this angle is very risky because you didn't really have any follow-up. Jinx was still pretty much full health. You could try to 1v2, but it's not going to be great, especially since you knew Volley was in the bottom jungle. If anything, I would have come through here, and then if they dove, then you could have stunned them under tower or something of that nature. That would have been much more effective, in my opinion. Alright. We're spending way too much time in base. First of all, every time you go to base, you want to walk to about here, because the entire time your character's walking here, you can be buying. It actually saves you about 3 seconds, 5 seconds getting to lane. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a huge min-max thing. And later on, like as you move up, you'll notice that it makes little differences. Alright, good job going for your blue first. Make sure that as you're clearing, you're kind of looking to see what's going on in your lanes. Obviously, he's going back. You could even come over and just freeze this in front of his tower and take that XP. That's always beneficial because that's farm for you that's not available to the enemy jungler. Don't take his farm, though. It can really set your laner behind if you accidentally push into the other tower and he gets zoned out, especially against an Ori. Again, your focus on Scuttle's great. See what's going on bot. As soon as he saw you over here, I would have come over here and scanned. Oh, your scanner's down. Still, regardless, you came over here and he saw you, so you should keep a mental note that there's a ward over here somewhere. I always pop in this bush just to make sure that it's not a pink ward, because those are pretty easy to clear. Get you a lot of gold. Good to go. Deny them a lot of vision. Great. Alright, so you should know that you have about a minute left to kill Ori before her flashes back up. Oh, he got the pink. I thought you were going to walk through it. If you go into a bush, you can actually attack move, and if there's a pink in it, it will automatically clear it. Same if you're sweeping and have oracles or something. When you see them backing off like this, you should immediately know that... Oh. You should know they have this worded. That was really ballsy. Against the Lux, it's really easy for her, especially when she has that little, like no minions in front of her, for her to actually go ahead and hit you and stun you under tower. You just need to recognize what abilities the enemy team has and whether or not there's a way for them to trap you. That really wasn't a necessary gank. You just coming here put enough pressure on them that they had to back off of Kate and Braum, which sometimes that alleviated pressure is enough to do something. Your team isn't going back either. They should be going back. This is really easy kills for Jinx. If Lux followed up, she could have gotten that. Alright, so this is why while you're doing your camps, you watch. Because now you know that Ori's down her ultimate and things like that. You can go ahead and make sure that you're responding to those things in the correct manner. Alright, you backed off, which is good. You were there for pressure, which is great. If you were to smite this right now, you smite up. Oh, use a pink. But yeah, using this is really good, the Raptors. That was close. Yeah, I mean, if you knew Riven wasn't top, then it's probably... You should know that she's still in mid. She was just there. Be a little bit more careful about that. But other than that, you adjusted to the situation well. If Riven hadn't been there, you switched from volley to Ori well, which is great. And you had the sense of mind not to get greedy and to flash out when Riven came. So overall, pretty solid. You can have better placement of this pink if you were to actually start using the Raptors smite passive thing. And your team has significant global gold advantage. I would definitely... You definitely want to hit Dragon. I'm not sure if I would have done it before Red. I would have had to see the situation. But you should be watching bot lane to see when they go back, because that's ideal, is that you get this first. That's one of the few times that you'll leave a major buff up, is when you can do something like Dragon or Baron first. Now if Volley was better, or paying more attention, he could have come and smited this away and you wouldn't have been there at all. But you are focusing buffs, which is good. Alright. You're playing with a Zed, so it's fine to be greedy with the blue buffs. Well, that's unfortunate. Oh, that was a nice back off. You did good presence of mind to back off from that when you did. You didn't get too greedy. Why can't I click on you? I'm not manually. Let me see what happened, because I was not there for that. Alright, so you backed off, which is fine. No, overall it was a solid play. You backed out until you had an opportunity to engage. Good. I would clear these two before you go back just to make the most efficient use of your back. You should have plenty of sustain to get you through it. They've got that bot, you're fine. I would do this and then go back. You can upgrade your boots to get your next item. Camera's being a pain. But at least my video card hasn't gone out, so it's good enough. Maybe a little jumpy. I apologize. Alright, you guys have a huge global gold advantage in addition to your lead. So I would definitely, you want to be pushing every objective possible. You should be making a little bit bigger presence in his jungle because he is so far behind you. So make sure that you're warding several different places. You can ward here, you can ward here. Shooting around. This is an unfortunate bot, but there's not a whole lot you can do. She saw you top, so she went bot, as well as volley. Overall, pretty solid play on their part. I think if I were you, I would have been helping push top or push mid, just because all four of them were bot lane, so you know, all five, sorry. You want to be exhibiting your pressure elsewhere on the pressure elsewhere on the map. That way, they're not able to just push down your towers and take your inhib, etc. Your team is way too far away for them to respond to this. Luckily, you're strong enough that you could take them, and Lux was pretty at that point, so it ended up being a really good play. Just make sure that if you're ever doing something like that, you've calculated how much damage they can do and how far away your team is to make sure that you're making the right decision. It was the right decision, but just something to keep in mind. It's hard to tell when a game is snowballed like this, how much of it is a conscious decision and how much of it is just luck or the fact that you're snowballed, if that makes any sense. Alright, you should know that Dragon is coming back up in 1 minute. You should be pinging your team. You want to make sure that you're ready for that as soon as it comes back up. Don't give them a chance to. Get your red, and then you want to go immediately to Dragon. Huh. That's fine. You want to ping your team. Alright, again, both of your smites are down. I would make sure you're using it on these, again, raptors. I can't stress how important that is. It's hard to see the importance of it in this game is because they're so far behind, they don't have a lot of wards out. But in situations where they're warding you here, or they're, you know, putting some wards in like this bush here, you really want to have that. It's going to be incredibly advantageous. He did not need to do that. He was not going to die. Oh, he walked into it? Ori was probably a better target there. But nothing you could have done about that. Yeah, see, this is why you should have been here. There's no reason for that to have happened. Like, absolutely none. You had plenty of time, you had plenty of opportunity. And they're so far behind. They're 5,000, 4,000 gold behind you. You just gotta make sure that you don't give them any room to come back in a game. Not even like the slightest little bit. So you came down here to like help out with this, but obviously you weren't gonna be able to get Dragon. There's nothing really down here that you could have done, so you should have recognized that Riven was pushing mid and gone to stop her. Because again, any gold that you give them is an opportunity for them to come back. Because now you're only like 3,500 gold behind. So you just don't want to give them any leeway when it comes to that. Oh, sorry. Wow, he went all kinds of ham. You need to just leave. Just leave. Please leave. Oh, nice. Do you have flash up? You do. No, you don't. That was beautiful, though. That turnaround, focus Riven. No, get out. Oh, yeah. That's okay. You did a good job given the situation that you were in. Again, you guys being up here though without having quite enough wards or Garen diving, and you not backing out quick enough, created a situation in which that all happened, and again gave them back gold. So now they're only 2.5 gold, 2,500 behind you. Whereas before, at one point, you had a 6,000 gold lead. All right, let's see what you're doing now. Oh, I forgot my camera doesn't work. At this point, I would be giving away your reds. There's no one really that you have to give away blues to. If someone's snowballing, you can give it to them. Cooldowns don't really hurt anybody in the game. I have some of my junglers sometimes give either myself or my AD carry the blue. But of course, it's not terrible on you either. But if you had someone that benefited from the blue more than you, that'd be a good option. And as far as red goes, I would definitely give it to Caitlyn at this point. But it's up to you. I understand people who don't like giving them away too. Alright, let's see how recognizable, like, telegraphed that whole fight was. Alright, they killed Braum. You're down a person. Kate is bot, and you know there's at least 3 people mid here. I feel like you coming over here baited her into baiting Zed into following you. Um, it's pretty questionable. You guys shouldn't have been flirting around here. There's no reason to. You guys were down 2 people. They had 5 there. It's just not something you need to play with. And now they're only 2,000 behind you. And I only keep mentioning that because even though these are little things and you feel like you're so far ahead because you're 7 and 4, all these little things add up and give them a significant, like, road back into the game. Don't ever, like, no mercy. Don't ever give them an opportunity to get back into the game. Especially in that fight, like, you went in so deep against a Lux, and a Lux has a pretty easy, straightforward way to just lock you down. So you want to be really careful about doing something like that. Alright, dragons up in 115. Again, I don't care if you get red, that's fine. You need to be pinging the hell out of this dragon. You need to have it warded. You need to have it pinked. I don't think I've seen you. You bought 1 pink. It's still here. You guys are winning. Your pink needs to be placed more offensively. If it dies, it dies. But you need to... It's not doing you any good right there because they're never pushed into you. Again, this is a situation in which you know dragon's up in a minute. It's very possible that had you alerted your team to the fact that that was coming up, they would not be playing so aggressively in the jungle. Wow, Garen is so ballsy. Alright. Good. Taking his red's always a good decision. Again, I would scan. I would take his chickens too whenever they're up, his raptors. Like, come, and if you were to smite, or, like, right now, one of those, because you have it up, dragon is live, so actually you wouldn't want to smite it. But before, like, if you were able to, you could have cleared this without smiting it. Then you could have smite this, go clear the wards on your way to dragon. And you would have been better off and still had smite up for dragon. Good job. You were more prepared for that. I don't know if it just happened to be where you were or if you were watching the timer, but either way, good job. Just make sure you're watching the timers. Oh, man. You guys, you need to make decisions faster. Either you're going to do this or you're not. You're hesitating and it's losing you guys opportunities. Oh, so harsh. Yeah, that wasn't your fault by any means. You didn't do anything wrong there. Ping your team back, but you can't control what other people do, so they went in, they shouldn't have. Shit happens. Yeah, Brahm's gonna 1v4, it's okay. Got this. Again, control what you can control. That was a good smite on her. You played that well. A little ballsy going in because Lux, if she had a little bit more mana, could have stunned you. But overall, you got in and out. You didn't get greedy and try to fight the rest of them. And your smite was good, slowing her so you could get out. So look, they're starting to get vision control back in your jungles. That's the last thing you want. You got lucky on this. Definitely would not have normally chased that far. That's a great ward. This is a great ward, whoever put that down. I don't know how safe that is. Once Riven shows bot, you should be okay because she used her TP, so you know it's down. But yeah, Jinx is respawning in 5 seconds, so I don't really think this is the best of ideas. But the major problem being that you don't know where anyone is, but it looks like you don't commit to it, so that's fine. You've managed to hold the 2,000 gold lead, which is good. But that 2,000 gold means less and less the further you get, because 2,000 out of 50 is much different than 2,000 out of 30, if you know what I mean. The ratio of gold difference is very much smaller. I think you did a good job deciding who to target there. You guys didn't really sweep very well here, so you were kind of out of position in relation to your team. You split off from them, so had they not supported you and come and commit to that, that could have been a problem. This is not great because obviously you're not there, you don't have smite. But at least they killed Volley before they took it, which is good. Oh, you smited it. I would smite it at the end so it lasts just a little bit longer. Clear it. Clear it. You missed the word. You used it. You finally smited the raptor and you missed it. That's fine. Good, you renewed it. Great. It's a very effective way to clear through. Oh my. Garen. Oh, Garen. I would ping back your team. You guys are doing the right thing. But sometimes 5 people making the wrong decision is better than 2 people making the right one. It ended up working out because Garen is just so beefy. Alright, splitting here is not a bad decision. They can't deal with both of you, which is fine. I think you're probably about done. You guys should be able to win right here, unless you guys dive someone. Oh yeah. You guys got too aggressive, which is fine. Garen isn't there either. If he was there, you definitely could have just won it out. But he's gonna eat dragons, so... yeah. Alright, so people weren't there, and those people who were decided to fight, so... That's why the game goes on for 3 more minutes. Essentially, it should be pretty straightforward after that. If you're gonna be, oh, let me go back. If you're going to be warding like that, make sure you're sweeping. I know that they didn't have any wards there, but you don't know that. Any vision you can deny the enemy is a good thing. This is the correct target. You guys did well. Yeah, you did a good job picking that. Getting that was a lot better than just going mid. Yep, that was a good pick. Overall, the game should not have been nearly as close as it was, just due to the fact that you guys were so far ahead. There was a couple positioning mistakes you had. A couple times you engaged or you baited your team into engaging that you shouldn't have. But overall, the biggest things that you need to work on are really making sure you get your buffs on time, prioritizing Dragon, like that has to be your main concern. Not splitting off from your team, unless you're purposely split pushing or something, but in team fights, make sure that you're kind of working with them so that you don't put them in a situation where they're alone without your protection, because you still do peel, and your damage alone is a peel for your team because they're not going to want to be in your face. Overall, I think that was about it. And your vision control, like you did well placing wards. You never, like there were several times where you didn't have 3 down though, which is always an opportunity for improvement. And there were some times where you weren't sweeping. Like you should be sweeping on cooldown. Even if you don't think that there are wards in the area, you should just in case. And use your smite a lot more on the raptors. As far as the game itself went, other than like trying to snowball, you had a pretty significant lead, so you guys were able to get away with some stuff that you might not have normally in a closer game, because you guys at one point were up like 6,000 gold, or like, yeah, just a significant amount. So keep that in mind too. So maybe like the next time you send in a replay, send in one that's like a little bit closer. But this one was a good one replay to review just because it was able to you were able to see where it almost threw a couple times. So if you have any questions, add me on Twitter or on Skype or League, and I would love to help you with anything. Other than that, I will talk to you later. Bye.